right, good morning. Welcome. Welcome back to the stream. The rocket launch intro. Morning, guys. Welcome back. Flowers to you in your chat. Why not me? Bonjour. Buenos dias. Tron vibes. It's synthwave. Synthwave vibes. Love synthwave. Go Los Doyers. Vamos Doyers. The Mets are are the Mets still winless? Holy shit. 0-4 Mets. Oh, man. At least we got the Rangers. The puck drop. That was sick, man. Awesome. I wish I was at that game. God, that was the game to go to right there. Rangers, Devils. Full brawl to start the game. So sick. Yeah, Masters this weekend. We got some good stuff coming. We got Rangers playoffs, Masters, Mets 0-4. Might have to be a Yankees fan this year. I don't really watch baseball much, so. Baseball and basketball are the two sports I do not watch. Morning, guys. Welcome back. Yeah, hopefully, definitely a fresh slate for me today. I've got rid of everything. Oh, yeah, we got the Japan Grand Prix as well. F1 in Japan this weekend as well. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff. Yeah, going to be definitely a fresh slate for me today. I've just ridded myself of every position that I've had. And, just a tough week for me. Didn't read the market right the first few days of this week. But, took the hit, accepted it, learned from it. You guys can go watch the video last night about sort of what went wrong for me. Really, it was that data yesterday that I maybe underestimated at 10 o'clock. That data move yesterday at 10 o'clock was pretty massive. That was almost a 1% move on the NASDAQ. And is it not this weekend? Oh, is it next weekend? Masters? And yeah, that was really it. So got taken out from that 10 o'clock news. Everything was actually looking really good here in the pre-market, right? I thought we were looking great in the pre-market for the game plan. Weakness in the pre-market, Tesla down pretty aggressively pre-market. But man, that stuff did not want to give up that ES20 SMA. That thing is a beast of a level. That 20 SMA on the ES on the SPY is not giving up. So got to trust that. I went against it a little bit, and you can see the result, right? So live example, I talked to the group yesterday. I said, hey, right here, today and yesterday, live example of going against your better judgment, going against your, what you talk about, that daily 20 SMA. I went against it, and I got burned. So going to happen. This is going to happen many more times in my trading career. No matter how good or consistent I am as a trader, we will always encounter, sort of those situations where we're wrong, where we have to accept it. This is trading, right? This is trading. It's not always rainbows and butterflies. So I wanted to make a video about it. I wanted to be transparent about it because it's the reality. And that's what I like to do. I like to show the reality of trading. No matter how much money you make, no matter how good you are, you will always find yourselves in ugly situations and have to accept that. And so that's what happened. No revenge trading today. That's why I closed everything. Fresh slate today. Let's look at everything, objectively, both ways, and focus on ending the week strong. That's really the key from this point forward. So let's go ahead and review. let's start with the futures. Let's start with the economic data. We got the futures, got some individual stock setups, and yeah, let's do it. Press that like button if you guys could. Subscribe to the channel, and let's dive in. Let's dive in. All right. Charts. Let's go to economic calendar today. We got our Thursday data, our normal Thursday unemployment claims. So that's our normal stuff every Thursday. You guys can see right here. We'll move back down right here. So 8:30 unemployment. That's going to be something we watch here live on the stream. That's really it for today, besides some more FOMC members talking today. I don't think this is going to be like a major event for the markets, but you could sort of be careful as they do speak. A lot of Fed presidents flapping their mouths this week. We had Powell yesterday, Barr, Kugler, Barkin, Mester, and Kugler again. I don't know why he has to talk 2 days in a row, but I guess he does. So at 7:30 p.m. So really unemployment claims today. That's really the main one. And then tomorrow we end the week with average hourly earnings, non-farm employment change, unemployment rate. All right. Next week, let's go ahead and take a quick peek at next week. CPI next week. That's gonna be pretty important. Yeah, we got a pretty heavy week next week. Man, that sort of sucks. I'm not really happy to see that because this week has not been great in terms of action, in terms of consistent moves, in terms of continuation. And looking at this economic calendar, it makes me think that the first 2 days of next week are probably going to be the same, right? Because we got CPI on Wednesday, we got the 10-year bond, we got FOMC minutes, all on Wednesday. This is a big Wednesday. Thursday, we got PPI, 30-year bond, and that's how our middle of the week is going to be next week. So a lot of stuff coming out, a lot of data to be aware of. Definitely the data yesterday caught me off guard. That was probably the biggest reason for my loss, was that big data spike around 10 o'clock yesterday. So more than ever, have to be paying attention to these economic events. So next week, pretty heavy there. All right. Let's dive into the futures. So what is the NASDAQ doing today? What am I watching? What am I, sort of game planning this morning? It is very clear at this point, we are not looking for shorts at this point if the NASDAQ is above this low. The NASDAQ has reclaimed the 18.420 demand low, right? We have reclaimed that channel that we fell out of, right? This was sort of my short reasoning. If you watched my video yesterday, I saw we fell out of this channel. Right, we were in this channel. We fell out of it. I was looking for the sort of retest rejection moves, but we can see we have reclaimed it. And this is strong, right? This is strong for the NASDAQ. The fact that the NASDAQ has reclaimed this 20 SMA, has reclaimed this channel low right here, is important. So at this point, right, we do not want to look for shorts back into that level. We do not want to be looking to short back into that daily 20, back into these channel lows that's set up last week. All right, so this is a potential long spot to be watching today around this 18.420 and this 20 SMA demand. All right, so here is, coming into today, if we open the market right now where we are, this is a potential hold level that I would be watching for maybe to set up some of those long entries back to the upside. So this is a very important level here, 18.420. Keep that on watch today. You can see this morning, we held it very nicely, right? Look right here. See this daily 20? See how we're holding right above it here around that 18,400? That's a very important hold that's setting up right now. So that's big. To the upside, the level to watch to the upside for some short-term rejections is right here, guys. You can see this is Tuesday's highs. This is that Tuesday high that caused that aggressive downside. This is that high from Monday afternoon. And this is some highs from last week as well. So right here, this is 18,513, 18,512. This is a level that rejected multiple times last week and early this week. So this is our upside level to be careful of if we are long. So we have this little channel between this 20 SMA demand and 18.4, and we have this high from earlier this week around 18,512. This is going to be our channel to be watching today. right in here. I would not short into this low. I would be careful longing into this high, right? That's just how I'm going to sort of play this today. If I can find some good longs back down in this area, I will look for that, right, to maybe play it towards this supply high, right? I would look to play longs towards this supply high right here. If we get above 18,512, right, if we get above here, if we hold above this high, and we start to turn that into a nice support today, that would be my sort of okay to trade up into the next supply, which is the 18,625. All right. So pretty clear levels here to start the morning. And I think the clearest thing as of right now is where we cannot short into, right? I think the clearest thing that I see right now is what is the level I cannot be sort of shorting into today. That is right below where we're currently sitting. That is the daily 20, and that is these lows that are now holding back up around that 18.4 and 18.420 level, right? We do not want to be getting short down into this zone, and we know, right? We know more than ever that that daily 20 SMA wants to hold this market higher, okay? So that is very clear. If we break back under, right? If we break back under and we start to see this sort of dance again back under this 20, that's when we have to be a little bit cautious, right? If the market does end up breaking back below this and it starts to fail on the pushback higher, that's when we do have to be aware of that downside potential under that daily 20, okay? So clear levels here so far, 18,400, 18,420. This little double top high from Monday, Tuesday of this week, 18,512. All right. And right now, we're sitting right in the middle of it. So we need to see reactions at these key levels. QQQ. Nice hold back over the 442. Right. The 442 was our channel low. We saw this right here. You guys saw this previous channel low, 442. We held above that yesterday. We are now trading above 442. And 442 is now the daily 20 SMA. So what's the level that we need to be aware of if we are looking for downside? We cannot be shorting into 442, right? 442 looks to be that new hold level. That was this previous low. That is now the daily 20 SMA. And if the QQQ pulls back to 442, this could be where that market holds up again, right? So 442, big important level below. You could even probably move this down to I think it's 442, but you could even see 441.50, right? This little high right here at 441.50. I'm going to put it at 442. I think that's a very clear level. And you can see yesterday, if you see yesterday on this pullback intraday, look how strong that 442 started to hold up, right? If you guys remember that really aggressive dive intraday yesterday, that 442 level said, nope, right? I'm holding. Even late day when we had a little bit of panic underneath it, reclaimed right above it. Right, so that 442 level, definitely a strong level now that we're trading above it. And if we do drop towards it, be careful of that holding. All right, big level down there, 442. To the upside, you are watching this 445.50. You guys can see this right here, right here, right here, right here, right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 rejections at 445.40. Right in this zone right here. Okay, so if we sort of trade higher into that today, just be a little bit careful of maybe a little bit of a short-term rejection. That is something to be careful of. That is where we rejected Tuesday pre-market, causing that downside. We rejected that Monday late day. We rejected that Thursday of last week, and we rejected that Wednesday of last week. Okay, so 445.40, big level above, something to be careful of if you are long into that level. All right. If you get above this level, right? If you get above this level, you're trading into the highs at 447. All right. If you get above this level, you're trading into the highs at 447, 447.50. So right now, right, to be quite honest, the risk reward on the long side is not great. I don't really want to be too aggressive long into this high. I would prefer us to drop into 442 and then set up that long. That's really what I'd like to see. All right. If we can get sort of that maybe a little bear trap this morning, little pop back lower into 442, start to see that 20 SMA hold again, right? We've seen the market do this. Pop lower, start to defend at that daily 20, right? And then create that long entry for that upside move. That would be something I'd rather look to long than just sort of longing into this sort of supply high that's sitting right above us at 445.40. All right. So that's my read on the QQQ. ES, a little bit interesting here on the ES. There is a sort of concerning level that I am watching. I'm not going to be shorting at it, but it's something to be watching if you are long. It is right here at this Monday low. So you guys can see right here on the ES, we have these this Monday, Tuesday, sort of the Tuesday pre-market low right here. See this? Right here, right here, right here, right here. All right, we had a nice low that was trying to hold here until that pre-market data on Tuesday that drove us lower. Now that level is right where we're sitting right now, right? See how clear that is? So right here, right? And you see how we held this? We held, and finally, when it gave up, it dropped lower. So basically, over the last 2 days, you have traded higher back into this low. So be careful a little bit here, right? 52.85, just be a little bit aware of that, right? Understand, hey, that we're sitting right under these Monday, Tuesday lows. This is something I need to be slightly cautious of. Maybe there's some short-term rejections here. If there is, I could probably get a better long opportunity at a different level. If we do drop and we do fail to break above this 52.85 today, I would prefer 52.63 as a long. You could watch this 52.75, right? Little short-term level here. You can see right here, little short-term level there. 52.75. That's a little hold level there. But I would the strongest hold for me would be 52.63. If you can get a little 52.63 pullback and start to hold here, this could be your next really nice long entry. Back at this demand low, back towards that daily 20. 52.63 did a beautiful break and retest intraday yesterday. If you guys were watching this, it was more on the SPY, but you can see right here, you had this little breakout of 52.63, little pullback, and a nice little hold here. And that was sort of after breaking over this level, that was really the level that held, right? And we can see even late day we held it. We held it here, right? We really held on to that 63 zone. Even here late day, like at close, look at that hold right there in that 52.63 zone. So that demand zone, after breaking above it yesterday, held very strong. 1, 2, and 3, really holding on there yesterday. So today, go back to the 15-minute chart. Today, if we do get that pullback to that level, that's a nice level to watch to set up your new long entries off that 63 and off that daily 20 SMA, which will likely be higher as the day goes on. If we get above this 52.85 here, that's this low right here, if we are able to get above this today, right, if we're able to get above this 85 today, that would be the move towards your 5,300, right? That would be the move towards your 5,300. Over 85, 5,300, right? Over 85, 5,300. That's what I'd be watching here on the ES, okay? That's 85. That's where you're rejecting right now. Over that, 5,300. Right now, once again, you can see we are slightly rejecting at those Monday's lows. Monday, Tuesday's lows, you can see a little bit of rejection right at that level right now. That is the level to be cautious of. Okay. SPY, 519.50 was a beauty yesterday. It was a pure beauty. That was our previous low. Let me go ahead and zoom out here. I'll go out to the hourly chart. We had that 519.50 on our charts right here. 519.50, 519.50, little bottom that we broke below. Right, we broke below that 519.50. And yesterday, if we go to the 5-minute chart, look at this 519.50 yesterday. Actually, no, I want to go to the 2-minute because that was really clean on the 2-minute for scalping. We had that 519.50 low. And look at this 2-minute chart yesterday on the SPY. We had a break of 519.50, pullback, aggressive pullback. Look how perfect that held. And then even on the aggressive downside intraday around that 12 o'clock, 12:30, where did we hold? Look at that. 519.50, 519.50. That is a sick hold there. And so today, I don't know if we're going to get a pullback to that level, but if we do at any point, guys, if you see the market back at that 519.50, that's definitely a spot to watch for that new entry point. That is this low right here. Let me go ahead and zoom out. That is this low right here, 519.50, 519.50, and that was very strong yesterday. So if we do pull back to that level at any point, watch that as a potential hold level. I like that level down there at 519.50. Look at these 20 SMA holds. Look at these 20 SMA holds. Crazy. Perfect on Tuesday. Perfect yesterday. That does not want to give up. That does not want to give up at that daily 20. So big level down there at the daily 20. 519.50. Next big level below. You'd like to see this 521 hold on today for the longs, right? You'd like to see, if I go to the 5-minute chart, you'd like to see this 521 low and this yesterday high hold on intraday today for that long entry towards 522.50, right? Right here. This is Monday's lows at 521. This is yesterday's highs at 521, right? And we saw, what did 521 do yesterday? 521, we moved higher, we pushed into that previous low, and we rejected, right? Aggressive rejection. Now, this right here is what has been difficult for me on the market. This is a great example of why I believe it's been slightly difficult on the market. Now, there's two ways to look at this, right? So if I'm looking at this SPY and I'm seeing the markets trade back into these lows and I'm seeing this starting to reject, right, this would tell me, hey, this is still weak, right? The fact that we are rejecting this Monday low and the fact that I'm seeing this type of fail yesterday intraday, this would absolutely lead me to try to play rejections. And, in the short term, it was great. Right, and this is something we have to take away from this market. It's a scalper's market. It's a scalper's market because this right here is a fantastic break and retest rejection. Right, this is a previous low that turned into a rejection point. The SPY popped higher, but could not get back above that Monday low, and that set up a beautiful short side entry yesterday that I would typically think could lead to further downside, right? This is a potentially clean further downside move to just begin that downside trend. However, that is not what happened, right? You get that quick aggressive downside, you get that perfect rejection of 521. If you're not profit taking in this market, right, look at how well you sort of creep back down towards that 20 and then just pop right back higher. So it's been tough. Right, I tried to do some swing trades this week, and swing trades were obviously not the right thing to be doing, right? Because there's too much back and forth. This typically, in a trending market, would be an awesome break and retest short, right? Previous lows, new highs, great entry for shorts. Look for that downside continuation. Not happening, right? After that drop, it popped right back higher and reclaimed and continued higher and is higher intraday today. So, yeah, I mean, if you traded some SPX there, great, right? If you traded some XPX and you took that scalp, that's a 6 scalp, and you did exactly the right thing, right? If you sort of shorted that 521 and you said, I'm going to scalp this thing lower, beautiful play, great job, right? That's how you were supposed to play that. If you did that, you did a great job. But it was not long lasted, and it popped right back higher and right back to the upside. We are now over yesterday's highs, right? So you're watching yesterday's highs on the SPY, 521, and that is really the main watch of the day. What happens at 521 today? If we fall back below that 521, right, I would assume that creates some pressure to the downside. All right, if you fail back under that Monday low, if you fail back under that Wednesday high, yesterday's high, I would assume a fail back under this level could lead to some downside, could lead to some weakness. However, like I just said, that's probably nothing more than a scalp. It's probably nothing more then a little scalp under 521 into 519.50, and then this thing probably rips right back higher, right? So scalp it, man. Scalp it. That's the key. That's at least what I've learned this week. That's been, sort of from my mistakes this week. I've learned, hey, keep it to the scalps, because right now the continuation ain't quite there in a single direction. So Russell, nice hold there on the Russell at 2070 yesterday. Really nice hold at 2070. Back above that 2090, and that is very key, right? The fact that the Russell is back above that 2090, that's good, right? So any pullback here on the Russell, guys, is a potential long at 2090. 2090, 2090, 2090. And so I would be looking for 2090 today on the Russell. If you're trading IWM or RTY, I would look for that 2090 to hold on the Russell for that long entry. That would be my main watch. Mr. Jones is still sort of concerning to me here, right? I don't really love, like, this is, to me, nothing but a retest rejection still for me on the Dow, right? For me on the Dow, this is still not something I'd long into 39,700. This is a previous low, a previous high, and we are just sort of slowly creeping higher into that level. That is not very confidence inspiring for upside. The only place I'd be confident on upside on the Dow here is over 39.7, right? Reclaim this low, reclaim this high. If we can reclaim here at 39.7, then I'd look for that upside. But until then, this could be nothing but a retest of these previous lows and a rejection of 39.7, or even a rejection of the 20 SMA. Right? You can see we rejected it yesterday, and we're rejecting it here in the pre-market right now. So that Dow looks a little bit different than the other indices. That's something to be cautious of, right? That 20 SMA in the Dow, that 39.7. Be cautious being long up in this area. Could definitely just cause another fade here on the Dow off this 39.7 level. All right. All right. That's the futures. We'll go over it again at the end of the stream. If you guys could press that like button. It looks like we're getting better at pressing the like button. That's good. We got 2,200 people here, 700 likes, and I didn't even ask yet. So appreciate that, guys. Appreciate those likes. Let's jump into some stonks, and then we'll take a look at that data when it comes out in about 2 minutes. 2 minutes for economic data. All right. So big level on Tesla today. Big test for Tesla. 170, man. This is going to be an interesting spot for Tesla today. You guys can see right here. 170 previous lows. You are trading right under it right now. So this is big. Okay, this is big. If we can get over 170 today, if we can reclaim that, then Tesla should sort of continue this upside ride. I would assume that the Tesla ride can start pushing back towards that 173.20 SMA, right? That would probably be my target. If you do see a nice confident hold over 170, that would be my target up into that 173, which would be that daily 20 SMA, okay? If you reject 170, right, which is still very possible here on Tesla, if you reject 170, that is a rejection of this previous low, and that could lead for a little bit of downside, likely back towards that 167.50, okay? 167.50 was the key of yesterday, right? The fact that we reclaimed that high was the key of yesterday and the key to this upside continuation today, right? You can see right here, you had this previous high from Tuesday, and look at how you held above it, right? That's perfection there on Tesla. That is really sexy stuff right there. Previous highs, really clean hold above. You could probably even move this down, right? It'll even make even more sense around that 167, right? Right there. 167, 167, 167, 167. That is a perfect flip from rejections to support on Tesla there yesterday. That's a thing of beauty. So any pullback at this point on Tesla is a potential long here at 167, right? Any pullback is a potential long there at 167. We just got our data. It looks like the market may like it. Let's see. Okay, we're pushing into that 52.85. Let's see what the ES does here. This is a big spot. You can see it's sort of battling right now. Pretty big battle candle right at this 52.85 level that we had marked out. Jobless claims 221 versus 213. Yeah, it's battling right here. NASDAQ. So the upside's a little bit pointless, right? This is what I liked. The upside is a little bit concerning until, right, as you approach this high, right? You have to be careful of this high here on the NASDAQ futures. I would prefer actually for us to go down today into the pre-market, right? I'd prefer this and this, right? If you want a long, you'd prefer the bear trap into the daily 20 and then look long, right? That's what you'd prefer. You don't want this to just go up for your long entries today. You'd rather us move lower today and then hold that 20. That would be a more tradable long than it would be to see this thing just sort of rip back higher. Yeah, ES definitely struggling here around this 52.85 level. We're definitely seeing a little bit of a lack of, confidence at that 52.85 on the buy side. So 52.85, that looks to be our level right now. It definitely is struggling a little bit. Really no reaction here on the data though. You got just sort of a pop and then just back to nothingness here. So really nothing. What you'd like to see is this today if you want a long. You want to see that thing come back down, hold that 20, get some people to chase the shorts, right? And then see if that thing can pop off the 20. Same on the ES. You'd like probably a pullback towards this 52.75, right? Get this pullback here and then sort of pop that thing back off demand. ES holding up. Definitely not a weak move. Definitely holding up. NASDAQ holding up as well. All right, let's continue. Tesla, like I said, 170. Very clear level to be watching today. Let's look for the 170 holds. Let's watch for the 170 rejections. If we reject 170, look for longs at 167. Right, this could be your next long entry right here on Tesla off that 167. Or if you get a really confident hold over 170, that's something I'd be watching as well. All right, Nvidia. So Nvidia is trading back into the very important 905 level. Excuse me. Very important 905 level here on Nvidia. Let me go to the 15-minute chart. You can see on the 15-minute what has Nvidia done this entire week. So 905, 905, and you're trading right into 905 again. You need a break over 905 on Nvidia. Okay? You need a break over 905 on Nvidia. If you can get a clean break and clean hold over 905 today, that would be where I'd look to set up that long right there. All right? Can we hold over 905? If so, can I enter a long over that 905 level? Right? If I can enter a long over 905, I can target 925. Right? That would be my target. So I would watch this very closely. Let's watch that 905 today. Let's see if it breaks above. If it does, then it pulls back and holds. That is our entry long on Nvidia today. Before 905, you need to be cautious of this type of move. Right? This is what happened yesterday. If you longed Nvidia into 905 into the daily 20, you saw pretty much weakness the rest of the day. This is sort of what happened here on Tuesday as well. So you got your pops, 20 SMA rejection, got your pops, 905, 20 SMA rejection. You don't want to get stuck in that same move today. So what you'd want to wait for is to actually clear these highs and hold above them. All right? That's what I'd be watching on Nvidia today, 905. AMD, nice strength. But what is happening on AMD, right? And why is the long, this is very key, right? Why is the long risk reward gone at this point, right? At this very moment, the risk reward for longs is over, right? Because where do we like to long in the channel? We long here, or we long on a break and hold above here, right? So we're either longing here or we're longing here, right? We are not longing into the rejection point. So unfortunately, if you're not long AMD already, right, you need to be careful of the rejections that continue to come in at this 184 level, right? Because really, the risk reward for longs is in this zone. It's not up in this zone, okay? So 175, that was a sick long entry. I mean, absolutely perfection. If you guys trusted AMD, if you guys were watching AMD, if you've been aware of this channel and you said, hey, we're at channel lows, man, and I got to trust this demand low. And if you went for it, you've been paid off, right? Longing here paid off, longing here paid off, longing here paid off, longing here paid off, and once again, longing here paid off. So very nice way to trust it if you long that AMD 175. Now, what happens in the past here on AMD? Longing here, you lost money. Longing here, you lost money. You lost money. You lost, you lost, you lost, you lost. We do not long here. And that is exactly where AMD is. Okay? So, big watch on AMD. If you can really get this market moving higher and it can really hold above, that's when it sort of flips back to the upside. Right? That's when you flip. That's when we flip back to that upside risk reward if we can hold above that 184. Okay? So that's what I'm watching. All right? That's what I'm watching. That 184 in AMD, very, very clear. And the other thing that you could be watching for whether this holds or not is this right here, right? Look at how AMD is holding over that 182 and that 20 SMA today. See that? Very nice. ES is pushing now. Yeah, nice push there. NASDAQ pushing higher. All right, so here's what you got to watch as this NASDAQ pushes higher. You just got to be careful of this right here. All right, as this NASDAQ pushes higher, just be aware of that 18,512. That's your last sort of level to be aware of here. Okay? On the SPY, okay, you're coming right into that 522.50. That's big, right? That's that Tuesday high. So that's your big level right there. On the QQQ, yeah, you're pushing right into that 445.40, right? These are our levels that we talked about earlier on the stream. So watch out for these. I would say it's all about Tuesday's highs now, guys. Tuesday's highs. That's going to be your new level. The Tuesday high before the pre-market downside that came in on Tuesday. That's your level. Right here, 445.40. On NASDAQ, that's right here. That's 18,512. On the ES, that is right here, right in this area, 5,300. On the SPY, that is 522.50. Okay? So that's that. AMD, Nvidia pushing into 905. Is Tesla over 170? Tesla over 170. Keep an eye on that. All right, let's go to Meta. Man, she's strong. And I could have used this about a week ago. If you guys remember that Meta long I took, got rejected on. I was looking for sort of that consolidation and continuation, but it needed to pull back. Right, this is a great example, guys, of sometime. This is actually a fantastic example, and hopefully this sort of rings some bells in some people's heads about pullbacks, right, and why you can't be scared of pullbacks. This pullback here is nothing but a refuel, right? This is when a stock pushes higher, right, and sort of fails a supply high. It needs to refuel, right? It's like, okay, I'm out of gas. Let me refuel the buyers, right, and then try again. So you need to, think about this. If a stock is holding above key levels, if it's not in a ugly downtrend, right? If a stock is not going like this straight to the downside, pullbacks are wanted. Pullbacks are good, right? A pullback in a straight downtrend is not good, okay? But a pullback in a stock that looks like this is not a bad thing, right? So that's really all it was on Meta last week. And so you can see right here, you look at this 4-hour channel, right? You see this 4-hour channel? Look how good this pullback and refuel at 480 was, right? A perfect refuel at those demand lows, and that is the catalyst to push us higher once again. So demand low, demand low, demand low, demand low. If you guys long Meta in this 480 zone, hats off to you, right? That's a beautiful long. That's a beautiful entry point, and it's a great way to trust that pullback and that demand low. Now, today, unfortunately, I look at this and I say, well, hey, man, you missed it, right? The people that, this is how I think of things, right? The people that were disciplined enough to long in this area, that saw Meta sort of coming off this demand, everyone that was loading up those longs down here, they're the ones running to the bank today, right? You're not going to be running to the bank if you just keep chasing this thing. So that's sort of how I think of things. I know I missed a good entry here, and so I can't be that aggressive on this. But the high right here is 515.50, right? That's the high right here, 515.50. And so that's pretty much the level I'd be watching today, guys. 515.50, right? If Meta can hold above 515.50, that could be your little scalp long opportunity. You could get a little scalp long off that. That is just something to be aware of because that is this high right here. 515.50 is that exact high right there. So if you can hold above that 515.50, you might be able to catch a little bit more continuation. The only thing I would say I'm concerned of, guys, is you have to understand where yesterday's close is, and that is all the way down here at 507. So this is a pre-market gap, and sometimes you just got to be a little bit cautious longing after a gap up like that. You might need to fill this gap at some point, and really the best long entry at this point is back here for a gap fill reversal. But if it just sort of continues to ride out today and you want to try to scalp this thing for some momentum, 515.50 is going to have to hold. Google, a little bit weak on Google today. Google is strange movement, but you can see this 153 might set up something nice for you, right here. This 153, this is still what I'd be watching. See if Google can reclaim or get back down to that 153 for that next entry long, right? This could be, right, this is channel 1. This is possibly channel 2, right? Channel 1, channel 2, previous channel 1 highs turning into channel 2 lows, right? That's what you want to see. Channel 1 highs turning into channel 2 lows. So what I would look for is Google to pull back to channel 2 lows, turn channel 1 highs into new support, right? And then look to long off that level right here, right? That's your long. You don't want to long at channel 2 highs, like the same way you didn't long channel 2 lows, right? You want to long at the channel 2 lows right here, which is where we rejected previously in channel 1, all right? That's what you're looking for. So look for that pullback, look to see if that 153 holds, and look to see if you can set up that long entry there. Let's go to Amazon. Amazon finally got a nice confident hold over 180. That's good to see, right? That gives me more confidence to actually trade Amazon because you can see right here, yesterday, 180 held like a champ. So we finally got that strength off 180 that we were wanting. So now we're looking for the pullback longs, right? Now we're looking for the pullback longs with some confidence that 180 held. So I would first be watching right here, this previous high at 182.80. That's number 1. And then number 2 would be a pullback right here to 182, okay? So this is my first long entry potential at 182.80. My second is right here at 182. So I would look to see if Amazon can do something like this, and continue this ride higher. If you break back under that 182, I'd be a little bit concerned that you're going to have to come back down to 180 again. So I would like to see Amazon hold either here or here to maintain sort of this upward trending move, right? So 182.80, that would be something to watch today. Microsoft, nice hold, nice continuation off this daily 20 SMA. So if we look at this right here on Microsoft, we'll go to the hourly chart. Look at how this has developed. 419, 419, 419, 419, daily 20 SMA. That's a really nice maintain there on Microsoft at 419. So what we want to see and what we need to be careful of, right? This is the channel trading. So what am I about to say here? You should know what I'm about to say. You've split this channel in half, right? Let's split this channel in half. 50% retracements at 422. Okay, so here's the exact halfway of this channel. Here's channel, right? Middle of the channel is right here, right? So the middle of the channel, I would prefer, right, in the perfect situation, I would prefer to be long down at the bottom of the channel and be potentially short or cautious on longs on the top side of the channel, right? So the more a stock trades up into the top side of the channel, the worse your risk reward gets on longs. The best longs, the longs that result in huge trades, great risk reward, are trades that come off demand, that you trusted, that you analyzed, right? And you're in before it gets to the top side of the channel, right? You have averaged into a position before it gets to the top side of the channel, right? Because once you're at the top side of the channel, there's a lot of questions you have to ask. Okay, you have to say, okay, if I long here, is it going to get over 425? I'm a little concerned of that, right? When you long down here, you're saying, okay, I got a great 419 demand. I got that daily 20 below. I'm just going to enter longs with that stop under 419, and I'm going to look for this to trade into channel highs, which would be a great entry and a great long. So a little bit cautious as Microsoft approaches that 425. You can see this morning, this 422 hold is a pretty thing of beauty. It's a thing of beauty right now. You can see right there that 422 hold, very nice. So you might be able to get a little, a little bit of a less risk reward, but a decent trade long off 422, right? If you can get a nice entry off 422, you might be able to catch a little options trade up into that 425. That's very nice, very possible. But today, if we open the day and we start sort of pushing up into here, you got to be careful of this. The other thing to look for, if you just want to wait for it to break that channel high, right? Break that 425, break above these highs. If you can get sort of that break and you have a hold above 425, then it sort of resets, right? This is where your risk reward resets because you are now above that channel high and now the channel resets for you. This is actually good risk reward now, right? It's resetting because you're above that 425. You're above that channel one high, and now you're looking for that long at the new channel low at 425. So 425 above, look for longs. Be careful of 425 rejections until it breaks, and then I'd look for that 422 pullback. All right. Coinbase. Big squeeze on coin through that 255. Yeah, coin's coming back strong, man. What's Buttcoin doing? What's the Buttcoin doing? She's coming up a little bit. She's up 1.5%. Coinbase, I would look to see if Coinbase can hold above this 256 right here. 255, 256. Look to see if Coinbase can pull back and hold this yesterday high right here. That would be your perfect long right there. If you can see this, that's your long entry right there. 256 right there. Okay, watch 256 on coin. Yeah, MU's been a beast, man. MU has been a beast. MU really nice long off that 121 yesterday. What are you looking for now? I'd look for 126 longs. 126. Okay, come back to these highs, long it off 126. That's what it did here, right? You can see it popped, pulled back, long. Popped, pulled back, long, right? So 126 is what I'd be looking. Let's see. What else do I like? Netflix had a big move yesterday. Watch out for this extreme high on Netflix. This is 634.40. So just be aware of that. 634.40. If you get above that, nice potential longs. Pullback longs are nice at 623. TSM. Okay, yeah. Watch TSM over 143 today. This could be really nice on TSM. You can see right here, 143, 143, 143. Look at this. Look at this little peak, little peekaboo, right? Right above that 143. That's interesting, right? And what else is TSM doing? TSM's coming off a very nice low, very nice demand low. It's trying to get above this 143 high. If TSM holds over 143, guys, we should push the 147, right? Over 143, we should push the 147. Okay, so watch that long over 143 on TSM. That's a very nice watch there. SMCI, Little bit of a bull flag on SMCI. Little bit of a bull flag on SMCI, right? At one point, I thought this looked weak, and it did look weak under that 1010 and under that 985, but this thing has stayed alive. It has definitely stayed alive. Little bull flag here. I'd be a little bit cautious longing SMCI into the 1080. I still think that's a big level. So I would probably look for a hold over 1080 before I long SMCI, personally. 1080 on SMCI. But that TSM 143 peekaboo, I'd be something I'd be watching. I said peekaboo so that maybe you guys will remember this tomorrow when we come back on the stream. Let's see if the peekaboo trade works. All right? 143. If that thing can put in a solid hold today, I would be watching that one. That might be one of my top watches today. All right, guys. Let's take a quick look at the futures. Big push on QES. Holy crap. Yeah, she's coming back with vengeance, man. All right, so what you're looking for is a hold over 18,513. If you hold over this Tuesday high, guys, you're pushing higher. And you are over it right now. All right? You are over it right now. So, man, it's the moves in the pre-market have been so major. They've been some major pre-market moves. 18,513. That's the level. If you can hold above that, good stuff. ES 5,300 though. 5,300 though. Okay, we're still under that 5,300. Interesting. Still under that 5,300. So, a little bit of caution there. Just sort of a, just be a, hey, let's be a little cautious at that 53. So watch that 53. Big level there. SPY, but nice hold over 522 here. Right, 522.50. Nice hold. Look for that hold. Nice pop above that level. But yeah, it looks like that 5,300 is going to be your last thing to watch, right? That 5,300 is going to be your last thing to watch right there. You get above that, all systems go. All right, watch that 53. All right, guys. Hope you had have a fantastic trading day. If you had a tough week, let it go. Right? That's what I've had. I've had a tough week, but there's definitely opportunity on this market. If you can refresh, if you can relook at things with a clear mindset, that's what I've had to do. Right? It could be a little bit of a difficult end of week for me, battling, sort of that early week loss, but nothing a weekend can't help. Right? So stay alive till the end of the weekend. Right? If you've had a tough week, scale down, stay alive till the end of the week. You got your weekend coming up. You come back next week refreshed. Keep an eye on these levels today. Try to remain as objective as possible, right? No biases. Read the levels. Understand the current trends. Hopefully the live stream helps you. And, yeah. Go Rangers. Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Help me get to 100K. Because we are... What are we at? We are at 79,250. Let's try to get to 80 at least. 80,000. All right, guys. Peace out.